Wait, so you telling me the same people that Floyd Mayweather was standing up for are the same people that took $175 million from him? Check this out.
I will always be the voice for the people in Israel. I will always stand behind the country of Israel, the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather in Israel. I will always be here for you guys when you guys don't have a voice.
Let me explain. This is what's supposed to be Floyd Mayweather's good friend and business partner, manager, whatever, Jonah Recknitz. He is a big part of Israel, and allegedly, he is the manager who scammed Floyd out of all kinds of things, but namely, they took his jet. According to the lawsuit that Floyd Mayweather had put in, they wired millions of dollars into accounts that he didn't know about. And it was all behind this guy, Jonah Recknitz. And it's really crazy because Floyd was caping and standing up for Israel so much. And then to find out that the same people that he stood for scammed his pockets, according to him. And from a couple of inside sources, they're saying that guy moved in and kind of X'd out all the Floyd people around him that had been with Floyd, and he got control of everything. And according to Floyd's lawsuit, he stole money, stole property. He even took $100-something million worth of jewelry, which I don't know why you got $100 million worth of jewelry, but sold it back to jewelers for only $13 million. I don't know what the hell going on, but this is a cautionary tale. Do not trust everybody with their money, and this came back to bite Floyd in the butt, and I don't like it. What if I told you?
Hey, what's up, everybody? So today we're going to talk about Floyd Mayweather. He is trending right now and has been for a minute because a couple things are happening. Either he is already broke, about to be broke, or soon to be broke after all these proceedings. So it is said that he is running out of money. Now, Floyd is known as Money. I guess that's one of his monikers because this guy had so much money, like you couldn't finish it. The way he would spend, you wouldn't finish it. But anyway, he has management, financiers, staff, all these kind of people around him. And it's coming to everyone's attention that he's actually running out of money, or if not ran out of money. And then he's actually filing a lawsuit against one of his former managers. The thing is that he has aligned himself with a group of people, group of Israelis, new friends. They were running his management and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, 175 million went missing. They can't find another 100 million of jewelry. On way money came, his jet, y'all, his jet that he had, the people that were his manager, his accountants, they sold the jet. He don't know where it went, where the money went, and all that stuff. He don't even know who they sell the jet to. So he's suing it. So they're gonna have to find a new moniker for Floyd Mayweather because he's no longer known as Money, and I takes care of everything. Now, I knew something was up. I think it was last year. He had been in Dubai. This man was being, well, the story was that this man was being held in Dubai because he had owed some money. Oh, and another thing is he was also doing a lot of betting. I don't know if it was gambling or what have you. And I don't know what happened, but he ended up running into the underbelly and they held him in Dubai. And I'm like, why is he being held in Dubai? It's not like he committed a crime or anything. And the way he was just like, yeah, they don't get their money back, he's not going to be able to go home. And I'm like, oh, it got to be something from the underworld because there's just no way. And then what I heard was like in his camp, they had this big expansive jewelry or whatever. I don't know if they gave it to him or it was lent to him or what have you. And then somebody in this camp took it and then they're like, well, you can't leave unless you give us the money for it or bring it back or whatever. That's what I heard. So since then, there has been reports of the people around him siphoning money, diverting money. Anyway, they raided him dry. And little by little, he started pushing people away. Like people that were with him from the beginning, his new group of accountants and managers and all these people, the old ones away, and they were the one managing everything. And it was just like, okay, well, let's put the fox to run the hen house, right? But you put him to manage, and next thing you know, he eating all the hens. So this is what's happening. Anyway, y'all, this is just crazy because he's been trying to schedule like fights and whatever have you. He's also dealing with different bets, and I don't know if he's not winning those bets. So he's trying to like Peter to pay Paul because the money's getting low. Wasn't making any dividends or any like from money or his investments. And he has an expansive real estate portfolio, which I don't know, that probably wasn't working. Anyway, y'all, it's really crazy. It goes to show that the crowd that you have around you, your managers, your financiers, the people that are running your empire, if you just incorporate just anybody, they're going to be the ones to do away with the very wealth that you work too hard to attain. Because now he got to continue fighting. At his age, with the kind of sport that he's in, he now got to continue fighting to try to make this money back. And then he's trying to sue them, but I really don't know how far these lawsuits are going to be. This is just very unfortunate for someone that was just known as just money. Trying to do all these different fights, but I feel like he put himself around the wrong people. He aligned himself around people that were controversial. I guess they got to his head. He maybe thought maybe I'll make more money aligning myself with certain things, and it was like, why are you goodness? Yes. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Is he already broke, or is he going broke, or things are going low? Because he also, in the middle of suing them, that's also money too, to try to pay these attorneys to get his money back, which I feel like he's not going to be able to get it back. I feel like he's not going to be able to get like clean back. Like he doesn't even know who sold that. And then the jewelry that gave away, like pawned it back for like, they said it was 100 million, but then whoever took the jewelry sold it back for like 13.
Family. Floyd Mayweather is the latest celebrity to be scammed out of millions of dollars by his most trusted advisors. Mayweather suing former associate in alleged $175 million fraud scheme. Floyd Mayweather is seeking $175 million in a newly filed lawsuit alleging that his former investment manager and real estate advisor defrauded him over multiple years. The suit filed in New York court claims Yona Ritness, Mayweather's former manager, and Ayo Frist, who ran Frist Apex Ventures, a Florida-based real estate investment firm where a lot of Mayweather's money was sent, committed fraud and had roles in breach of fiduciary duty. Mayweather alleges that Ritness built a relationship with him over a number of years to gain his trust. He then allegedly used his advisory role to move Mayweather's money into accounts with Frist Apex Ventures. Ritness, Frist Apex, and Alexander Seligson, an attorney who handled the refinance of one of Mayweather's properties, are listed as defendants. Messages left with Ritness, Frist, and Seligson were not immediately returned to ESPN. The conduct alleged in this pleading, including the diversion of settlement proceeds, refinance proceeds, and recurring real estate distributions to accounts controlled by Yona Ritness through Frist Apex Ventures, demands a full judiciary accounting, Mayweather's attorney Leo Jacobs said in a statement. We look forward to obtaining that accounting and to recovering every dollar which our client is entitled. Here's what the suit alleges. A $7.5 million wire for a 12-month investment on July 1st, 2024 to Frist Apex, where no investment was made and the initial money was never returned. Unauthorized allocations of Mayweather's money to Frist Apex, including $15 million in settlement proceeds from a realty company at Ritness's direction, a separate loan with over $8.8 million of a $16.4 million loan on 4 of Mayweather's properties was sent to Frist Apex without explanation. Only $2.5 million was given to Mayweather Promotions. That $2.1 million of an $8.2 million refinance of one of Mayweather's Las Vegas properties was sent to Frist Apex at Ritness's direction and without Mr. Mayweather's authorization. Witness diverted a $1 million deposit agreed to by Mayweather to buy a New York property in 2025 to pay a New York jeweler instead. And
Yaya Mayweather, it is time for you to go ahead and start a business or get a job. They are saying that your daddy is going broke, that he owes the IRS, and he has a gambling problem and an addiction to women. To be honest, it doesn't surprise a lot of us, but it's time for you to actually use your nepotism to get ahead. Do something. Become an actor, start a business, open a restaurant, do something other than sitting online trying to figure out if Jazz's ring was made in a lab or not, and if your baby daddy is going to come and see you today. It doesn't matter anymore. Your daddy's going broke. That's a big deal. Worrying about her ring will have your rings getting seized to help pay off his debt to the IRS. It's time to do something for yourself. Do something great, because that rapper money, it's not going to last you very long. You see how they work. The money comes when it comes less and less, and they always have an excuse for why they can't give it to you on your time. You see how he did you on your baby's birthday, didn't help pay for it initially, didn't even show up. Your dad showed up and he gave you the money on the back end when he felt like it. That's no way to live. It's time for you to do something great for yourself, because it seems like your daddy might need a little bit of help. Just saying.
Yo, this is the man that scammed Mayweather. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather out of $175 million. So Mayweather made him manager of boxing investments, banking, real estate. Even though in 2016, he pleaded guilty when he had to do 10 months in order to pay back $10 million. We had a hedge fund that lost $19 million. They lost NYP Union. Mayweather in the lawsuit said he hid his criminal past, including that $17 million judgment against him. All right, let's get into details how he scammed Mayweather. He wired himself $7.5 million, one of Mayweather's companies, to a Florida LLC owned by his pal. A year later, he brought $100 million of Mayweather's jewelry to a pair of Miami dealers, using it as collateral for a $13 million loan. So pretty much a loan on all his jewelry. And he never paid. And the jewelries were hitting Mayweather like, you're going to start liquidating your jewelry to get, their money back. Also, another 15 to his friend in Florida, and he sold his private jet and never gave Mayweather the money. They don't even know who he sold it to. Ain't no way all that happened and nobody in your team was alerted, or you didn't see any red flags or a background check. And he did 10 months for a $10 million scheme. Now on call for this. These hedge fund scammers do not get enough time. So there's the breakdown from the New York Post.
Now it's time to fight, Floyd. Floyd, it's time to fight. I don't know how you're going to win this fight. Sir is on paper a billionaire, but the fight that gave him the billionaire status, he never got the $350 million because he gave power of attorney to his Nation of Islam manager, and ran off with the money. Filed a lawsuit against Showtime trying to recover the money instead of holding his manager responsible for it. So this is a lawsuit that he filed a few months ago. We have been reporting to y'all for 2 years that Floyd was having money problems. Y'all didn't believe me. I was like, he broke, but it's a different kind of broke. No. Floyd is broke. It's so bad. This next lawsuit unwinds every single detail. That's why Yaya says she about to get a job. He's being seen out at casinos with no security because he can't afford them. Real estate that he thought he owned, he doesn't own. A lot of shit. Jewelry that he thought he owned, he doesn't own. He was sued and lost in court. It was paternity court. He got one of his strippers pregnant. And apparently she proved paternity, and so he's ordered to pay $32,000 of child support a month, and he owes back pay of $1 million. I've been saying Floyd has been broke for a long time. Here's the reason why. He just filed a $175 million lawsuit, Mayweather versus Jonah Reshnitz. Israeli guy, Israeli company. New York City real estate developer and convicted felon. Okay, from a 2016 federal bribery case. Now, along with Ayal Frisk Apex Ventures, and attorney Alexander Sellingson, according to multiple outlets, and of course the lawsuit that we pulled. Now here's the setup. Floyd says that Reshnitz Jonah spent years starting from 2017 gaining his trust, and by 2024 had become his de facto investment manager, real estate advisor, and banking liaison. So he gave him rights to banking. He was his real estate advisor and his investment manager. So which means the money that Floyd made, they sent it right to this guy who's a convicted felon, and he did what he wanted to do with it, okay? Now, Floyd had no idea that Resnick already had a fraud conviction and a separate civil fraud judgment on his record. This is about his jet. He has a Gulfstream jet. Resnick in July 2024 took out a $13 million loan in Mayweather's name, secured a property Floyd owned in Miami Beach, okay? Now, Resnick took out the loan in Mayweather's name. Mayweather gave him rights. Now, $6.5 million of that loan was used to purchase a 1996 Gulfstream GIV private jet. Another $4 million went to Mayweather Promotions, okay? About 18 months later, the jet was sold. But here's the kicker. Mayweather alleges he unknowingly signed paperwork transferring ownership of the Gulfstream with the buyer's section left completely blank, which means he handed them a document and left the buyer section blank. So they were able to sign his jet over, and right now, Floyd says he doesn't even know who bought his aircraft. He has received no accounting or the sale proceeds and got back less than 1/3 of the original loan proceeds. Now, if you want me to break that down in plain terms, he claims he was handed a transfer document with the buyer blank field, signed it without understanding what it was, and the jet vanished into a buyer he can't identify with the money never reaching him. So basically, he just gave his jet away for free and couldn't read it. Other major allegations, $100 million in jewelry was pawned for $13 million in August of 2025. Jonah Resnick, the Israeli boy here, okay, allegedly pledged roughly $100 million worth of Floyd's jewelry, Rolexes, multiple Jacob and Co watches, a diamond necklace and gold chains to 2 Miami dealers as collateral for only $13 million in loans. So he was like, I'm gonna bring you Floyd's jewelry because I know where he at. I got the key to his house. You know, all his properties I own because I'm the investor, and I'll bring it to you, give it to me. He's not gonna know it's gone. Floyd says none of that money reached him. When the loans defaulted, a jeweler texted him demanding payment and threatened to liquidate the pieces. Now, Jonah allegedly replied, agreed, thanks. Despite having no authority from Floyd to greenlight a liquidation, much of the jewelry is still sitting with the dealer. A $7.5 million phantom investment, July 1st, 2024. Jonah pitched a deal promising profit within 12 months. Now, per the complaint, no investment was made, no return was paid, no documentation. The principal has not been returned. A $7.5 million phantom investment, a car. $16.4 million in collateralized loans, October 24, the same year, secured against liens on 4 of Floyd's properties. Only $2.5 million went to promotions. Nearly $9 million was wired to an LLC run by one of Jonah's associates with no explanation, okay? He's saying that Jonah would call him, you know, when you go through this lawsuit and say, hey, I got this investment for you. I need $7 million right now. Floyd would wire him the money or give him permission to wire the money because he was a banking liaison, which means he was signator on Floyd's account or whatnot. And he would just send it to a fake investment account, according to Floyd and his lawyers, and then the money is gone. So this man was just taking all of Floyd's money, saying that he was just making him richer. Made Floyd pay his own loans back on loans that he never even got, on jewelry that was pawned that he never pawned. That's what Floyd is saying. $15 million real estate settlement from a settlement with a New York real estate developer allegedly diverted by Jonah to himself without Floyd's knowledge. $2.1 million in property refinance. Lost refinancing, okay, that Jonah orchestrated. Ongoing skim through 2026. Okay, Jonah allegedly took 20% of reoccurring distributions from an Upper Manhattan real estate portfolio Floyd owns. He's asking for $175 million in damages, disengorgement of every benefit Jonah received, punitive damages, and Jonah has 21 days to respond. Now, here's the thing, and this is where it gets thick, okay? Jonah got 21 days to respond, But Jonah, I don't think is going to be able to respond to anybody because he is about to go to jail again. That's what we're going to unwind during our docuseries, because this is not the first person that Jonah has done this to. It's many other celebrities, and we have many people, many names, many names. This is beyond dumb. This is robbery.
Ocho.
But what happened, boy?
Floyd Mayweather says he reportedly got cleaned out to the tune of $175 million.
What?
Claiming a former close associate ran a year-long scheme that allegedly drained his bank accounts, hijacked real estate deals, pawned off his jewelry, and even made his private jet disappear.
Damn.
According to TMZ, Floyd says roughly $100 million worth of bling has handed over to a Miami jeweler for only $13 million in return. And he said a huge chunk of the collection is still sitting with the dealer. Floyd also says he unknowingly signed paperwork transferring ownership of his Gulfstream jet with a buyer section left blank, and says he still doesn't know where the aircraft money went. Floyd also reportedly has been ordered to pay more than $1 million in child support after a Nevada judge ruled the retired boxer fathered a 4-year-old girl born to a former dancer at his Las Vegas strip club. Floyd also faced a reported $7.3 million IRS lien. Ocho, with the lavish lifestyle that Floyd has built over the years, the jet, the entourage, nonstop spending, has he created a lifestyle that when he was making $200-400 million a year, he was able to enjoy, and he created something that he can no longer keep up with.
Yeah, I think so, because if you think about Floyd obviously having to maintain the image of being Money Mayweather Joe, being at one point, being at top's highest paid Forbes, top highest paid athlete at one point, the lifestyle that he did live, you understood once you stop fighting, once you retired, regardless of what investments you made, there are no investments in this world, I don't care who you are, Uncle Joe, that you can make that can still accumulate that type of revenue that the sport that you play can. It's not that many. You got to hit. You got to get in good and hit it when it's hot, and it happens very seldom. It happens very seldom. So I hate this. I hate this for my young bull, man. I hate this for my young bull, Floyd. Hopefully this situation gets rectified, especially when it comes to having people around you, having other people in control of your finances. That's a no-no, Joe. That's a no-no.
Man,
that is a big no-no, especially with the kind of cash flow
blank, though,
Floyd
having. You can't sign anything blank. Ocho, when they come to us and they try to get us to sign these blanks when it comes to our autograph, bro. Do you know how many jerseys that you can put these on? Do you know how many pictures you could? No, bro. I'm not signing no blanks.
Look,
I'm not gonna address the child situation. Whatever he and hopefully the co-parent will get that worked out, get that resolved. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't really care. I don't really care about that. Hopefully, whatever needs to be done will get done.
Damn.
But first of all, before I get to second, third, Ocho.
Yeah, talk to
$100 million in jewelry.
Damn.
Ocho.
Yeah.
$100 million in jewelry, Ocho.
But hey, Uncle, it's Money Mayweather, Unc. It's Money Mayweather. He had a image to uphold.
$100 million, bro.
Floyd Mayweather has had a pretty hard year, bro. First off, you heard the new news that he got a stripper thought he pregnant, and now he owes her $1 million, pardon me, in back child support and $32,000 a month. You heard about that? And then you add on the fact that he retired years ago, but because he spent all his money doing pure nonsense, he had to get back into boxing. And then he signed a deal with Manny Pacquiao to fight him. And Manny Pacquiao said, okay, but it has to be considered against our record. And Floyd was like, okay. And then when it's time for them to fight, Floyd reneged on the agreement. So now they're going back and forth over the agreement that they had. And then you add on top of it that his real estate ventures have all crashed, and everyone's noticing, hey, your financial standings are not where you say they are. And mind you, he made $1 billion in profit, but 50% of that goes away to the tax man, right? And then he lives this super opulent lifestyle. I won't be surprised if he's spending $60 to $100 million a year in expenses for pure nonsense. Like, he would have 5 of the same exact car in the same color and everything,
over and over and over again. And he will repeat that for 3 to 5 different cars. He'd have 5 BMW M8s in white. And then he'd have 5 Rolls Royce Wraiths in white. Then he'd have 5 Bentley Continental GTs in white. I'll be like, but why would you do something like that? What's the purpose of doing something like that? Now, I want to remind you, right, that Floyd also has all these women around him, right? And they seem to be pretty jobless, all right? Because they're with him 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. It's weird timing. That's not working people time, right? So that means he's paying for their lifestyle. And understand this, because we all pay. That's the way it works. It may not be immediately, but we all pay. And if you don't pay, it's because you switch her out with somebody else. Women have a lot of desires and needs, all right? So if you don't pay, right, because she wants something to smoke, she wants to eat, she wants to drink, she wants to spend time with you, we all pay one way or another. That's the way it works. You have but 2 options. First option is you just pay. All right, you just pay, you move forward with your day. You buy her the food, you buy her the alcohol, you buy her the beverage, you buy her the shoes, whatever she asks for. Or you tell her, hell no, you switch them out, and then you get a new girl and repeat the process over and over again. Eventually she asks for something, you pay for it. If you don't pay for it, guess what? Somebody else will. She'll leave you or you'll leave her, and then she will be someone else's girl, and you'll get a new girl, and repeat the process over and over and over again. My point of saying that is Floyd is also paying for a lot of women, a whole lot of women. He's going broke. Now you're going to ask me, but how is Floyd broke? He took a 13 to 17% loan on cash. If you are not having financial problems, you don't do something like that. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, been a hard year for Floyd, man, extra hard. Random kid pop up out of nowhere. Everybody knows he's struggling financially. He about to hop back in the ring to go against Manny Pacquiao. He just has a litany of issues.
Why has it always come to money?
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. Everything you do costs money.
Is that how you measure your success?
No, money don't make me, I make money.
It's 2026 and one of the greatest boxers of all time is doing something that makes absolutely no sense. Floyd Mayweather retired with a perfect 50-0 record. Over a 2-decade career, he completely shattered the financial ceiling of sports, generating over $1.2 billion in gross earnings. He is a man who made $300 million in a single night fighting Conor McGregor.
She's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever.
You know, I've been had money thrown at me in so many different countries, 9 figures. I made tons of money. You know, that's why the nickname is, Floyd Money Mayweather.
According to every rule of wealth management, a man with that much capital should be invisible right now. He should be sitting on a yacht, living off the interest of massive, safe investments and completely avoiding any form of work, especially if your work involves getting punched in the face. But if you look at what Floyd Mayweather is actually doing in 2026, it doesn't look like he made billions in his career. It looks more like someone in panic mode. At 48 years old, Mayweather is embarking on a frantic, highly dangerous, and bizarre global tour. He booked an exhibition fight against the 59-year-old Mike Tyson in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
59-year-old heavyweight legend Mike Tyson will fight Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition.
I was minding my business. He challenged me.
He booked a fight against a retired 45-year-old kickboxer in Athens, Greece. He is planning a professional rematch against Manny Pacquiao at the Sphere in Las Vegas. And while he is booking these fights, he just launched a desperate $340 million lawsuit against his former network, Showtime. Why is a billionaire scrambling for paydays with the desperation of a rookie?
You're blaming them when in fact it's really, really you. Maybe you should go to them to get some lessons.
It's a spending issue, not an income.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He is fucking broke, huh? They call him Money Mayweather. But where's your money?
He's walking around
In this video, we're going to deep dive the Mayweather empire. We're going to look at his terrifying, expensive lifestyle, a dark trail of shadow debts and bounced checks, and the tragic reality of what happens when you cannot read your own contract. The Money Mayweather persona is no longer a marketing brand. It is a psychological prison, and Floyd is fighting to fund his own illusion. Welcome to Redline Theory. To understand how $1 billion can evaporate, you have to understand the difference between career earnings and liquid cash. Making $1 billion over 20 years does not mean you have $1 billion in your checking account today. When a fighter retires, those massive 9-figure paydays permanently stop, but the cost of living as Floyd Mayweather does not. This is what financial analysts call the burn rate, and Floyd's burn rate is financially suicidal.
It's just a lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes. He's got to have those videos where it shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money, you got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and latest car, and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of his expenses. Mayweather reportedly owns 2 private Gulfstream jets. Buying a customized Gulfstream G650 costs around $60 million up front, but the purchase price is just a front bill. The real bleeding happens every single month. You have to pay premium international hangar fees, massive aviation insurance, full-time salaries for specialized executive pilots, and federally mandated mechanical checks. Running 2 private jets costs millions of dollars a year in pure, unrecoverable overhead just to keep them legally allowed in the air. Mayweather is famous for his massive, color-coded fleets of luxury cars. He has an all-white fleet in Vegas and an all-black fleet in LA. We're talking about over 100 vehicles, including a $4.8 million Koenigsegg and a $3.5 million Bugatti.
Look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing.
Cars are rapidly depreciating assets. They lose value the second you buy them, but the insurance, the climate-controlled storage, and the bespoke maintenance require a constant river of cash.
Let's walk down here and check this out. Come.
In 2025, he walked into a Vegas dealership and bought 4 luxury cars in a single day for $2.25 million, only to turn around and sue the dealer over one of them. It is chaotic, high-velocity spending. And then there is the entourage, the money team. In his prime, Floyd surrounded himself with dozens of bodyguards, bag carriers, assistants, and logistics managers. Having a multi-million-dollar annual payroll for an entourage is fine when you just made $250 million fighting Manny Pacquiao. But it becomes a catastrophic liability a decade later when the money stops coming in. Floyd never downsized. He is currently spending out of his principal wealth, not his interest, and he is bleeding out fast.
I sit here with sadness today to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd Money Mayweather. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop.
If the private jets and the mansions were slowly draining his accounts, his neurological addiction to risk makes a bad situation even worse. Floyd Mayweather does not drink alcohol. He does not do drugs. His addiction is adrenaline. And when you retire from professional fighting, the only way to replace that high is through high-stakes sports gambling.
Don't go to the damn poker table. Don't go to the blackjack table. Don't go to the slot machine for crying out loud, even if it's only asking you for $1. Don't do it. Stay the hell out of the casino.
Keep your money, because as great as you are, I got news for you. You ain't gonna be able to perform like that forever. We all get old.
If you look at his Instagram, you will see highly curated photos of massive $1 million winning betting slips. But this is an illusion. The mathematical reality of sports betting is that the house always wins. For every multi-million-dollar win he posts, there is a graveyard of devastating losses he hides. In 2014, he reportedly bet and lost $10 million backing the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. But here's the real trap of gambling when you are rich. Uncle Sam would come knocking.
What's the most you've ever won in a single bet?
I'm probably
1.2, 1.3.
Yeah, all right. That's about
What's the most you've ever lost on a bet?
Probably $1 million.
Oh,
When Floyd wins $3 million on a football game, the IRS treats that as ordinary income, taxing it at the absolute highest bracket. But when he loses $10 million, he has to absorb that massive loss out of his own pocket. He pays exorbitant taxes on his public wins and eats the total destruction of his private losses. It is a financial death spiral. And gambling debt isn't always owed to a casino. Sometimes it is owed to the underground. In 2024, rumors flooded the combat sports world that Mayweather was being detained in Dubai. Promoters and rival fighters alleged he was prevented from leaving the country over staggering gambling debts owed to very powerful, unregulated local figures.
I do personally believe and feel comfortable in letting you know that Floyd is being held in Dubai. He's being held for debt. He did not pay a debt. In Dubai, they do not take debt as a forgiving measure. In the United States, they do.
While his PR team spun the narrative, the mere existence of that rumor exposes a terrifying vulnerability. Fully liquid billionaires do not get held up in foreign countries over money. It strongly suggests that Floyd operates in a dangerous gray market of cash debts. When you owe money to people who operate outside the court system, you need cash immediately. And that pressure perfectly explains why a 48-year-old man is suddenly willing to fight in the Congo. You don't have to guess if he is broke, you just have to look at the money trail. Over the last few years, Floyd Mayweather has left a highly documented trail of unpaid bills, defaults, and bounced checks that prove his operational bank accounts are completely empty. Let's look at the receipts. First, the real estate humiliation. Despite claiming he owns a $402 million commercial real estate empire, Floyd decided to rent a luxury apartment at the Baccarat Hotel in New York City for $100,000 a month. Billionaires don't rent, they buy. Renting means you have short-term cash flow, but you lack the massive liquid capital for a down payment. But even that short-term cash dried up. In late 2025, his landlord sued him for eviction. He stopped paying rent and accumulated over $500,000 in debt, and when confronted, claimed he had no idea he was behind. He signed a settlement to pay it off, made one payment, and immediately defaulted again. He is currently being sued for over $337,000.
Even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits, like he hasn't been paying things and he owes money on this and owes money on that, and it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Second, the jewelers. In early 2026, a Miami jeweler named AJ's Jewelry filed a massive lawsuit. They claim Floyd walked out with $1.6 million in watches and gold chains. He wired them a small upfront fee and then wrote 5 separate checks to cover the rest. Every single one of those 5 checks bounced.
He's like, Mayweather's broke. I said, no. He's like, no, really, Mayweather's broke. Now, I don't know if it's true. Right. This is what this guy told me. I'm like, how could he be broke? He's like, yo, he spends like crazy.
Third, the Logan Paul debt. 5 years after the 2021 exhibition fight, Logan Paul is still publicly screaming that Mayweather owes him $1.5 million. Paul claims Floyd got a $10 million upfront site fee from the Middle East, but never paid out the splits. This means Mayweather Promotions isn't running on cash, they are running a shell game, using money from new fights to pay off debts from old fights.
He sold our fight with my name and likeness to someone else in Dubai for $10 million cash. It's our fight, bro. Our deal was 15%. He smoked me. So I got 15% of it. 15% of $10 million is $1.5 million. That company that paid him that money is suing him. I actually don't know the status on that lawsuit. I should check in because he still owes me money, but he has a bunch of legal trouble at the moment that I don't think I'm ever getting the money.
And finally, the IRS. After his record-breaking 2015 fight, the IRS hit him with a $22.2 million tax lien. Instead of just writing a check, his lawyers delayed the payment until he could fight Conor McGregor 2 years later.
How much do you owe?
Well, it's more than you want to pay. Yeah. It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
When you add up the bounced checks, the unpaid rent, and the missing fight purses, the picture is clear. The money is gone. How does a man who generated over $1 billion let it all slip away? The answer is the most tragic part of this entire story. In 2014, audio leaked of Floyd Mayweather struggling heavily to read a simple radio drop on The Breakfast Club.
I'm Floyd Mayweather, I'm Floyd Mayweather, and I've joined Heart Radio for the show. Your stripes. Okay. I'm Floyd Mayweather, and I've joined Heart Radio for the show. Your Stripes movement to support hiring vets. I'm Floyd Mayweather, and I've joined Heart Radio.
50 Cent publicly mocked him, challenging him to read one page of a Harry Potter book.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. Fuck the bucket of ice, man.
The internet laughed, but the implication of that audio leak is devastating. If you are individually managing a billion-dollar sports empire and you cannot personally read, comprehend, and audit a 40-page legal contract, you are completely blind. In modern boxing, revenue is a maze. It comes from pay-per-views, international broadcasts, gate receipts, and sponsors, flowing through dozens of corporate hands before it reaches the fighter. If you cannot read the fine print, you have to unconditionally trust the handlers, lawyers, and accountants around you. And history proves that when a celebrity blindly trusts their entourage, they get robbed. This brings us to the $340 million Showtime lawsuit. In February 2026, Mayweather filed a massive lawsuit against Showtime and its executives. He claims they orchestrated a decade-long financial fraud, wiring hundreds of millions of his fight earnings directly into third-party accounts controlled by his advisors. The lawsuit outlines a textbook embezzlement scheme. It claims funds were drained using fake accounting labels like loan payoffs and expenses. It claims a massive $20 million slush fund was created and falsely labeled as a reimbursement for his 2015 fight against Andre Berto. And when Floyd's new team finally asked to see the ledgers, Showtime allegedly told them the financial records were lost in a flood. This lawsuit serves two purposes. First, the fraud might be entirely real. The entourage he built likely bled him dry while he was looking the other way. But second, filing a $340 million lawsuit is a desperate Hail Mary attempt to claw back cash to pay off his crushing immediate debts.
There is the lawsuit that Floyd is in with Showtime, and I don't think Al Heyman's a part of the lawsuit, even though he blames Al Heyman in a lot of the lawsuit for stealing his money. We're $340 million. We'll see if anything materializes out of that or if Floyd just spends more money out of his ass.
When you deep the burn rate, the shadow debts, the bounced checks, and the corporate theft, the chaotic events of 2026 suddenly start to make perfect, terrifying sense. The house of cards is collapsing. Floyd has to use his only remaining asset, his physical body, to generate cash immediately. And that's why he booked an exhibition in the Democratic Republic of Congo against Mike Tyson. Tyson will be 60 years old and naturally weighs over 220 pounds. To make this happen safely, they are using 16-ounce gloves and fighting 2-minute rounds. It is an athletic circus, but it carries a reported $20 million purse.
These guys have an opportunity to be on Netflix and be seen by 40, 50 million people in the fight. Over 100 million people watched Mike Tyson fight Jake Paul. You can get Mike Tyson, and Floyd Mayweather can do those type of numbers as well.
Floyd is willing to fly to Central Africa to fight a heavyweight simply because the check is too big to ignore. Weeks later, he is scheduled to fight a retired 45-year-old kickboxer named Mike Zambitis in Greece. This keeps him far away from the strict regulations of Las Vegas, allowing him to extract easy regional site fees without taking real damage. And finally, the Las Vegas climax. A fully sanctioned professional rematch against Manny Pacquiao at the Sphere in September. 11 years after they broke the world record, two aging legends are stepping back into the ring for a massive Netflix broadcast. This grueling, geographically chaotic schedule is not the behavior of a secure billionaire. It looks like a rapid, wholesale liquidation of his remaining athletic equity to stave off bankruptcy. If a normal person runs out of money, the solution is painful but simple. You downsize. You sell the $60 million jet, you auction the car fleet, you sell the mansions, move into a quiet house, live off index funds, and disappear. But Floyd Mayweather cannot downsize. He is a prisoner of his own creation. For 25 years, he built his entire existence around being Money Mayweather. To downsize would mean admitting to the public that he failed. For an ego built entirely on being undefeated and unfathomably rich, that admission is psychological suicide. So he has to keep up the facade, even as it destroys him. He is literally faking his wealth to project perfection. When Business Insider published an article exposing that his claim of buying a $402 million New York real estate portfolio was completely fake, Floyd sued them for $100 million in defamation. He claimed the article humiliated him. He doesn't care about the real estate, he cares about his perception. The perception of his wealth is his last remaining asset. Because he cannot tolerate the optics of going broke, he makes self-destructive choices. Instead of selling the jet, he bounces checks to jewelers. Instead of selling the cars, he stops paying rent. The financial facade has to get louder because his foundation has completely crumbled behind the scenes. Floyd Mayweather is no longer the quote-unquote money Mayweather we once knew. He is a prisoner to his own brand. When he steps into that ring in 2026, he is not protecting his perfect legacy. He is doing it because the Jets need fuel, the entourage needs payroll, and the creditors are circling behind closed doors. He is fighting to fund his own illusion. This is Redline Theory. Thanks for watching.
Think I'm dry. Like a hard fall for Floyd Mayweather. Got to watch the company you keep and who watches your money. And if anything, you've got to be able to learn to read, write, understand money, understand finances, how it works. You figure out how it works, because even if you hire staff to run things, if you don't know how to read contracts, you don't know how to read and sign what it is that you're signing, even look over your tax returns. He owes the IRS too. So it's like, you know, Harvey had gotten himself into that thing where he did have a literacy problem, but he had a trusting problem with one of his accountants who has since passed away. But he had a trusting problem where the guy, well, he said he's going to pay the taxes, and then what he would do is pull money at the amount of the check and then not send it to the IRS and just keep the money. And then Steve Harvey got himself into this whole thing where he did owe because nothing was ever filed, and his taxes were never sent. And it was a mess because that accountant had passed away. So it was like trying to go to the estate to recover things. And then he had to do gigs and stuff like that to pay that tax bill. And so I feel like that's what Floyd is facing right now, because whoever is running the show, they're fleecing and then not really moving that on. So it's like things are kind of, because he switched out his company for different people who did not have his best interest at heart. This is just quite unfortunate. There have been reports that he has a problem with reading. And once I saw that, I said, oh, that's never going to fly. You can't be worth millions of dollars, making $200-300 million a year, and you can't read. No, ma'am. Literacy important. Education is important. There's this wave of anti-intellectualism. It's very dangerous place to put yourself in. And I feel that's why he was able to get, that's why he was able to get scammed, because, hey, I mean, he struggled to read, and they're like, this is going to be an easy lick, and they got their lick. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think, and until next time.